Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. In today's video we're going to take a look at one of the many different warbands in Age of Sigmar Warcry. We're going to take a look at all the fighters available to this warband, what they do on the tabletop, the abilities the warband has, and how to build a foursome on the tabletop as well. Along with this we'll look at some interesting ally options as well for the warband. In today's video, we're going to take a look at getting started with Warcry using the Skinnerkin Bladeborn warband, one of many Warhammer Underworlds warbands able to be used in Warcry. Today's video is sponsored by Gap Games, a fantastic miniature wargaming store in Queensland, Australia. They stock a wide variety of miniature wargames from all things Games Workshop to some of my personal favourites, Conquest of the Last Argument of Kings, and all things Modifius wargames as well. Use our affiliate code in the link below to help support both this fantastic store and the channel as well. Our first ability is Back to the Kitchen's our reaction, and this reaction can be used by any model in the warband. After they've been damaged by a melee attack action, they can just make a free disengage action. For a double, you can pick a friendly Skinnerkin rune marked model within 6 inch of your fighter using the Get Out of Larder ability for a double that has yet to activate in the battle round. Both fighters can make a free move action with a distance equal to the value of the ability, and on top of that, the chosen friendly fighter activates immediately after this fighter finishes its activation. Plated Banquet is a triple ability we can use, and it can only be used by a friendly fighter if they've taken down an enemy fighter this battle round. You can choose to place a token on the battlefield where the enemy fighter was taken down, which will heal nearby friendly fighters at the end of the battle round. Lastly, we have Precise Filleting, which is a quad, and for this quad you can score critical hits on the next melee attack action on a 3+ regardless of the enemy's toughness for a single enemy fighter. Leading the Bladeborn warband is Gristler Tenderhook, a solid enough leader with 20 wounds and a defense of 4 and a very consistent damage output in melee. This model has the leader rune mark in addition to the Skinnerkin rune mark. This will also give it access to things like Victory Feast, which has some immediate healing for the warband when you've taken down an enemy, or Decree of Chivalry to boost the attacks of nearby friendly fighters as well, these two abilities being generic abilities from the Flesh and Quartz. Next up is Young Master Kretch, slightly more expensive than your regular Crypt Ghoul. He obviously, like all models in the warband, has the Skinnerkin rune mark, but does punch harder in melee over a regular Ghoul, with a strength of 4 and regular damage of 2, though his critical damage does remain as a value of 3. Flynn's Master Pudrig is next for our ghouls. He doesn't have a lot extra to him or about him other than having a single extra attack over a regular Crypt Ghoul, which will pay 5 points for. Besides that, he is just a regular Crypt Ghoul. Cedric the Chain costs the same as a regular Crypt Ghoul, but is actually decently better than one thanks to one simple change. His melee attack has a range of 3 inch, making him able to attack without being in range of your enemy's weapons if they don't have any 3 inch weapons themselves. Lastly, we have the Karnskier, fairly frail with just 10 wounds and a defense of 3, so pretty frail for its points cost. The model is fairly useful though, with a decent movement of 7 and the fly room mark for zipping around the battlefield. A slightly better than Ghoul attack profile has his model punching out 4 attacks, though at a strength of 3, but with a nice 2-3 damage. The first model to look at getting to expand your warband is the Abhorrent Cardinal. This model has the leader rune mark, so gets all those generic abilities, and the priest rune mark as well. The priest rune mark will give the model access to the double Speak in Tongues. This double allows the Cardinal to pick a nearby enemy and make them have 1 less activation in their next activation on the roll of the 3+. Pretty solid. Other than that, he's a fairly solid character. Next is another model with the leader rune mark, the Marrow Scroll Herald. This model also has the Icon Bearer rune mark, which will give them access to an ability called King's Entreaty for a triple. You can pick a visible enemy fighter and offer them an infected bone. If they accept, each time the fighter activates they have a chance to simply be taken down, or if they decline it, they simply can't use abilities for the rest of the battle. Lastly, we've gone for adding a Crypt Flayer into the warband. This model gives us a big brute fighter with a defense of 4 and 28 wounds. It has the Fly rune mark and a 10-inch move, along with the Agile rune mark as well, which can give you access to an ability which can stop enemies being able to use reactions nearby. In melee, it's no slouch either, with 4 attacks at a strength of 4 doing 2 damage each, or 4 with a critical hit. And so our list looks a little bit like this. For our leaders, we have Gristler Tenderhook, and our Abhorrent Cardinal, and Marrow Scroll Herald. Meanwhile, for fighters, we have all the members of the Skinnerkin, being Young Master Kretch, Flens Master Pudrig, Cedric the Kane, and the Karnskier, and we've also got our Crypt Flayer in there as well. Now, if we look into splitting them into battle groups, our first one is going to be Gristler with Young Master Kretch and Cedric the Chain, probably the 2 best fighters out of the Skinnerkin. We then have Battle Group 2 containing our other foot-slogging fighters, being the Abhorrent Cardinal, Marrow Scroll Herald, and Flens Master Pudrig as a nice little sacrifice for them. And Battle Group 3 contains our 2 fast-moving flyers with the Karnskier and Crypt Flayer in there as well. We hope that this video was helpful in getting you started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry, and that it was able to give you some ideas and inspiration to start your own force in the game. If you have any other questions at all, please comment them down below and we'll endeavour to get back to you. And while you're there, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe and join our Discord server as well, linked in the video's description, for all our future Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry content.